Hello and welcome to Mark's Gaming Den with some awesome news this week. So, first of all, we have some news of Bethesda making a new Indiana Jones game, and I've just played the trailer for you, and that's all the news we have. No news on when it's coming out or anything, but as you can see here, Bethesda, a new Indiana Jones game with an original story, is in development from our studio at Machine Games and will be executive produced by Todd Howard in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. It'll be some time before we have more to reveal, but we're very excited to share today's news. Now, release date, no idea. Machine Games, they have they make the Wolfenstein games. So the last game that they made was Wolfenstein Young Blood, but they made all the previous Wolfenstein games as well, and they were really good. So I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, underneath there's people saying, "How's Tom Holt involved in a good thing?" 52 Metascore score for Fallout 76. But I believe with Machine Games on board, this will be a really cool title. Now, a lot of the detractors will say, "Oh, but they're just gonna copy the Uncharted and the Lara Croft games." Oh my goodness! Look, Indiana Jones, the movies were out way before those games, guys, and the films were really good. Apart from the last one, you know, mixed feelings on that, but I still enjoyed it. But I think it's going to be cool. The interesting thing is though, Bethesda and Machine Games, Microsoft own Bethesda now. So will this Indiana Jones game be an Xbox and PC exclusive? Who knows? I just think that's a very interesting thing to think about. Just Jez on Twitter. It says, despite the Xbox acquisition, I think Indiana Jones, going back to the Indiana Jones stuff, I think Indiana Jones could be multi-platform due to Lucasfilm's involvement. But the fact PlayStation hasn't retweeted it yet could also be a hint to the contrary. For those wondering about Xbox PC exclusivity, as I say, I believe that it will be Xbox and PC exclusive. Sorry, PlayStation fans, but you're going to have to buy an Xbox or build a PC if you want to play that one. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think that's a cool thing. Next piece of news: Star Wars. It looks like EA has lost the Star Wars license. I mean, the previous Star Wars games were actually, they were quite decent. The latest one reviewed quite well and is now on Game Pass. So if any of you haven't tried it out and have an Xbox or Game Pass, check it out. But they had all that controversy before with all the loot boxes on the Battlefront on Battlefront 2, and I think that may have been the straw that broke the camel's back with the license. The Star Wars license being with EA. So now it's going to Ubisoft. Now the interesting thing is, this is going to be made by Ubisoft Massive, and they made the Division games. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how they make an open world Star Wars game with that team, because the Division games are actually quite good, very action heavy, but they never had any of the, shall we say, tower climbing of of the Assassin's Creed games, etc. It's always a running joke with open world Ubisoft games is how many towers am I going to have to climb to open up some of the map. But I believe personally, with Ubisoft Massive on board making this new Star Wars game, I mean they did a great job with the Division. I'm a really big fan. I think it's going to be a cool game if they don't make it a game as a service. I mean, that's always a worry because with these type of games, with the Division type games, the Destiny type games, they're very similar. They're a game as a service, and they run out of content quite quick, and then you kind of like left behind. A raid maybe will come out in 6 months' time, and people will clamor back on, or there'll be a lot of DLC or season passes that you'll need to buy to carry on playing the extra content that comes out down the line. I mean, that might not happen with the Star Wars game. It might actually be a really cool open world game. Who knows? It's an interesting thing to see. So yeah, I'm quite pleased that both these pieces of news have come out today. Anyway, that is all I wanted to say today for Mark's Gaming Den. I'm going to be doing more of these videos when news comes out in the future. I think it's a fun thing to talk about these things on a YouTube video. Instead of I'm still pumping out a podcast every single week. It's 360 Gamercast. If you don't know, just search for that on every podcast app and also on Spotify. You can find me on Patreon if you want to support my podcast or my YouTubing. That's patreon.com/360 Gamecast. Anyway, these two pieces of news have got me really, really excited, and I look forward to making a new video again soon. Peace out.